The Leopard 2 A7 project. I started this project back in August of last year. This project is a 1/3 scaled Leopard 2 A7, specifically the Leopard 2 A7 Plus, model by KNDS. This model is only roughly third scaled, so about 8.5 feet long at the base, and about 12 feet with the barrel, 4.5 feet wide, and about 3'8" at the turret roof. I will now go over all of the features that my Leopard 2 A7 will have. Firstly, this tank will be completely accurate by looks and shape, with the exception of it being wooden and 1/3 scale. It will have the standard camouflage paint and a forest-type foliage to match the woods on my property. I will be replicating the FLW 200 remote weapon station to go on the roof of my Leopard 2 tank. An airsoft machine gun will be used, and I may add functioning MPL 76 launchers, or have them as a visual addition. The weapon station will have a 3D printed frame and will be powered by an Arduino circuit board, 2 servo motors or stepper motors. We'll aim the turret, one for rotation and one for vertical movement. The motors will be controlled by a joystick on the inside of the vehicle. I will mount a camera in the weapon station that will be hooked up to a screen of some sort. I will be adding an actuator underneath the barrel to control aiming. And vertical stabilization. A gyroscope sensor will be placed on the inside of the turret to measure the tilt of the chassis on hills or bumps. The sensor sends that data to the actuator, which moves to keep the barrel where you aimed it. Horizontal stabilization. I will be replicating horizontal turret stabilization by having the turret swivel on frictionless bearings. This allows the turret to stay in place when the chassis turns. As for recoil suppression, I will have the barrel on a sliding rack with tension springs and rubber padding for damping. I will be using various types of ammunition in the 50mm potato cannon. These include APFSDS and HE rounds, and maybe more. The secondary weapons are airsoft and will fire biodegradable airsoft BBs. The armor-piercing rounds will have a 3D printed, fin-stabilized body with a steel nail at the tip. These darts will be encased with a lightweight discarding sabot made of cardboard or plastic. The sabot will fall off with drag as it leaves the barrel. The darts, at 100 psi, could launch up to 370 miles per hour and have a range of 4,300 feet, 0.8 miles. The steel nail at the end of the dart could penetrate up to an inch of plywood or 1/4 inch of steel. High explosive rounds will probably be 3D printed and used mostly for testing, but I may fill some with various materials. I will be recreating the MPL 76mm smoke launchers on the Leopard 2 A7. I will have them fire chalk or another lightweight powder. I will use an elastic to launch a small capsule with a diameter of 25mm that will break away in the air or when it hits the ground. There are 8 launchers on each side, and I may add some to the FLW 200 weapon station. How I see/optics. This image is a Leopard 2 A5. Cameras will be mounted on the FLW 200 in the front of the hull. I will be able to see out of the hatches as well. A night vision scope will be mounted as an optic and seen through a periscope. The last feature that I'll cover this video. A recovery winch. I have a Badlands EXR 2,500 pounds winch that I will use on my homemade Leopard 2 A7. The winch will be mounted on the lower front hull of the tank. This winch will help me pull myself out if I'm stuck or move other objects. Some of you may ask, What's next on the to-do list? I'll tell you. Right now, this is what I have done. The next thing I need to do is change out my wiring and finish the framing above the tracks. The frame is where I'll mount the motors. This will let me figure out where the dashboard will be. Then I'll start the chassis. After that, I'll start the turret and test a potato cannon. At home, when I can't work on the tank, I'll build the FLW-200 remote weapon station and the MPL-76 launchers, or anything else 3D printed. I'll install the winch and headlights before the paint. Lastly, I'll add the fire retardant, paint, foliage, and any other details. Okay everyone, that is going to be all for this video. I apologize for the editing/style. I am very new to this. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. I'd like to thank everyone for the nice comments as well. Y'all are too kind. I'm sorry that this video took so long to make. The next videos will be mostly the build progress and process. Also, the next videos will be with my voice, not text-to-speech, and much more. Real-life stuff and less information-based. The real-life stuff takes much less time to make.